Hello, hello. My internet went out. That was crappy timing. Hey, video reel. I know that Nelson was up. I was just asking him if those were silicone molds he used for Christmas trees, and then bingo, bango, my internet went out. I guess they were doing maintenance on it, and so horrible timing. I didn't finish my turn. I know that two other people didn't finish their turn, so I'll have to make that up somehow. Maybe tomorrow. I don't know. I've got to go to the eye doctor tomorrow. And no. And then it just took my live that I had all set up. And I don't know, I had it on for like 4 minutes. I have no idea what happened there. And I'm just trying to put this on here. Okay, let's see if we can get this to at least go out somewhere. I know it's not going to go out because it spins, but we'll see. We do our best, and that's all you can do. Let me just put this here just so somebody can find the new video. I'm going to get rid of that other one that only went on for 4 minutes because that doesn't need, I wasn't even on there. So anyway, I was talking.
So what is ClickUp? ClickUp is an all-in-one productivity software where you can manage everything and anything related to your work. Your documents, your chats, your whiteboards, your projects. The value of this, you don't have to buy 5 softwares to do this. You don't have to be hopping back and forth between multiple tabs trying to find that email from a year ago. Instead, you can find everything in a matter of seconds, keeping your work and everything related to productivity organized in a single place.
We'll try to make it up. That was the internet, and things got
tabs trying to find that email from a year ago. Instead, you can find everything in a matter of seconds, keeping your work and everything related to productivity organized in a single place.
We'll try to make it up. What you doing, Laura? How's it going? Are you going to court tomorrow? And things got
tabs trying to find that email from a year ago. Instead, you can find everything in a matter of seconds, keeping your work and everything related to productivity organized in a single place.
We'll try to make it up. What you doing, Laura? How's it going? Are you going to court tomorrow? AD playing what? Things got
tabs trying to find that email from a year ago. Instead, you can find everything in a matter of seconds, keeping your work and everything related to productivity organized in a single place.
We'll try to make it up. What you doing, Laura? How's it going? Are you going to court tomorrow? AD playing what? Things got
tabs trying to find that email from a year ago. Instead, you can find everything in a matter of seconds, keeping your work and everything related to productivity organized in a single place.
We'll try to make it up. What you doing, Laura? How's it going? Are you going to court tomorrow? AD playing what? That's things got
tabs trying to find that.
I'll stop it, but I don't hear an ad. Margot's saying stop. Okay, where's an ad? There's an ad playing over me talking. Oh my gosh, I don't see anything. Hold on a minute. Okay, close all the tabs. I did. Streamlabs. Everything is closed. Twitter. There's nothing on that could be playing. I don't see any ads. What was it saying? Okay, I honestly can't hear a thing. Do I have to start a new live? There's a voiceover thing. Hey, Tammy Wells. Hi, Vampire Slayer. Hi, everybody. I'm tickled pink that as many of you found this after it's quiet now. What was it, little lady? Anything bad or just an ad? It's okay, Kevin. I don't need to start another live. You sure everything's good? I don't know what it could have been. Okay. So let's talk about Delphi. And then I apologize to One Eye Blind Art. I'm sorry that I said he's out of silicone mold and then I lost everything. But we'll get back to that. We'll make up the auction. See if we can do a flash for the three that lost their turns. No, not another live. I know, Native Libra. Okay, it's okay. All right. So let's talk about the defense rests their case today. They rested their case. There were rebuttal witnesses. We're talking about maybe closing arguments and a verdict before the weekend, right? But I have to tell you something. Just a whole lot of talking. I don't know what it was. Okay. So, I hold on a minute. I just want to see what it was. I'm just going to listen on my phone. But I'm going to tell you something. I listened to Pat Brown. Scooter told me to hold on. Scooter told me to listen to Pat Brown and I did. And boy, I don't know if anybody listened to her today. She had like about a 10-minute video. And she was disgusted. She was absolutely disgusted and she thinks he might get off. Did you hear that, Scooter? Did you listen to that? Tell me if you listened to that. She said that they're kind of botched things up so bad in this trial. And she called out a few very large channels the other day that are essentially kissing the defense's arse and going on and on about that's what you're afraid of too? Yeah. And okay, I don't know what that is about, but so that's scary. Did you hear that, Scooter? Okay, so do you think she first called out, you're afraid of that too now? Okay, so all of these, a lot of them were law tubers. Okay, well, I shouldn't say a lot of them. Okay, one of the biggest ones is a law tuber who kind of is kissing defense arse. And she's hooking up with another big channel and they got called out because they're doing like a disservice to this case and they're going with conspiracy and all this crap. So you say, remember this dude in upstate New York that got off after his wife was missing? No, tell me about that, Native Libra. Which one in upstate New York? Because I'm in upstate New York. I'm not real upstate New York, but I'm somewhat upstate. Tell me that, Native Libra. Which one? If you give me a little more information, I might remember it. Oh, I know who you mean. Durst. You mean Durst. Yeah, in Westchester. Yeah, not you mean Richard Durst. Absolutely. Yeah. I know exactly who you mean now. Robert Durst. Robert Durst. Sorry, not Richard. Richard, is it Richard Allen? Okay. Oh, Calvin. No, he owned a scrapyard. Oh, wait a minute. Who's that? Calvin? Tell me a little more. When did it happen? Can you give me just a little more, teeny bit more information? Just give me a tiny bit. Sorry, guys, I'm trying to find my video here. So tell me, hang on a minute. Oh, I got it. Okay, I just wanted to see what was playing. Okay, I get it. I don't know where that ad was coming from. It must have been playing on my thing. Okay, now I feel better. So, what do you think about that? About I mean, let me take a poll here if you guys think that he's going to get off. You really think that there's a good possibility he's going to get off? I mean, I heard Pat Brown sound so dejected. And like I said, this is the first time that I've ever listened to her. I think maybe a long time ago, but I really haven't. But I did. And so I mean, can I say this woman sounded so dejected? But she did. From what I know, she did. And I'm going to see. What Native Leader Colonel Harris? Wait a minute, isn't that the guy in Canada? All right, let me look. I'm going to look that up. Let's see. Harris' wife. Waverly, New York. Cal Harris, his wife Michelle Ann Harris, disappeared on September 12, 2001 after leaving a restaurant in Waverly, New York. Michelle left the restaurant after her shift, had drinks with coworkers, and then saw a boyfriend in Smithborough. You know, something like this happened up here in a very small town. I told you that town where that guy shot that, the owner of the hotel shot that bartender, and he got very little time. And I told you there's a lot of true crime that happens in that town. And there was one, where it revolved around a restaurant too, but they owned it, and the husband went home ahead of her, and then she never got home. And I remember that happening, and I just wasn't like that. I had so much else going on in my life at the time, but then looking it up afterwards, and I always go back and look it up because I can't remember if they found her, and they didn't. So it says that, but this sounds so similar to that case. The next morning, Michelle's car was found near her home in Spencer, New York, with the keys still in the ignition. Cal was arrested and charged with second-degree murder in 2005. He went on trial 4 times, but was acquitted at a non-jury trial in 2016. Cal's defense team claimed that new evidence and witness testimony would prove his innocence. They presented items found in a fire pit. Oh, there we go with a fire pit again. At a nearby house, including a knife blade, a button, and a shoulder strap. Their theory was that the man who owned the house was the last person seen with Michelle. Michelle's body has never been found. So Cal was eventually charged with second-degree murder and convicted, despite Michelle's continued absence. The morning after Harris was convicted, a witness emerged who claimed to have seen Michelle outside the family home on the morning of September 12th. Cal was retried and convicted again, it says. The final verdict. Cal has gone on trial for the murder of his wife, Michelle, 4 times. He was convicted twice, even though Michelle's body was never found. Okay, and let's see what happened here then. He went back on in 2016, right? Oh, they had 4 kids together? Wow, look at this. This is a case we probably should take a look at. They had 4 kids together. It's a fairy tale romance. It said no one was happier than Michelle when she married Cal and became pregnant. And by the time she was 33, she had 4 children under the age of 6. She was emotional, loving, caring, did the daily stuff. He provided well. They lived on a 252-acre estate with a private lake. We would go snowmobiling. We would go water skiing. Oh, wow. They had friends that they spent the weekends with. You could tell they loved each other very much. I mean, they always wanted to be around each other. Always, always. If there were any marital problems, Michelle kept them hidden from friends and family, including her sister-in-law. Until Michelle's 4th child was born, that's her sister-in-law said would learn that life at the Harris house was no longer quite so perfect. I had no idea. I remember saying that to her. Oh my gosh, I had no idea. Michelle began talking about Cal's temper and his controlling behavior. He looks like somebody I know. It's crazy. Everything just had to be absolutely perfect, said the sister-in-law. And if it wasn't, what would happen? Oh, he'd scream, he'd yell, he'd want her to dress a certain way. He told her that she was born in Tioga Center, raised in Tioga Center, and she'd die in Tioga Center. You're small town. You're beneath me. Wow. Michelle discovered Cal was having an affair. She was devastated. How did he respond? He would only speak. Cal and Michelle tried to save their marriage, but in January of 2001, after 10 years, Michelle filed for divorce. So then she had a boyfriend too. Greg said it was a bitter split as Michelle fought with Cal over money, demanding a full accounting of his businesses. There was no way that he was going to let Michelle take his family money. The situation was made even worse because the couple, forced by the courts, continued sharing their house. It was extremely tense. You know, there's got to be a lot of times when I'd be there and they'd be hollering back and forth. By September 9th, 2001, the Harris's nanny remembers a change in Michelle. She seemed happier. Thought she was getting her life back. She hadn't told her husband, but she had decided to accept a financial offer from Cal and finalize the divorce. 3 days later, just hours before she was supposed to meet with her lawyer, she disappeared. This guy, he looks so much like somebody. It's crazy. I know that guy. She stopped by their part, so she had a boyfriend, huh? A land surveyor living in Philadelphia started dating Michelle after he met her at a local bar in the fall of 2000. She said she had 4 children, said she was not happy with her marriage. Okay, so they never found her. They had blood spatter in the house. Anderson said he found tiny specks of blood on a kitchen doorway. What happened to 35-year-old Michelle Harris? So this is 2001, and she was 35. Right. We want the person responsible for her not being here. Maybe he looks familiar to me because I've seen a documentary or something on this. He took up a relationship with his old girlfriend. How soon after Michelle disappeared? The night of Michelle's birthday, September 29th. Wow. He never asked me, have you heard from Michelle? Did Michelle call you? Wow. So what is he doing now? Were you scared that someone could take Michelle? Someone could come and take the kids? So where is this guy now, this Cal Harris? What's he doing today? New trial, new venue. Let's see what happened. I just have to speed through this because we got to talk about Delphi, right? Cal Harris is now a free man. Yep. In the end, after deliberating 12 hours, Judge Richard Mott, oh gosh, that name, that's like Mott was the hand that rocks the cradle, right? Judge Richard Mott reached his verdict, not guilty. Michelle Harris was attacked by her husband when she walked through the door. Her blood was spattered in the alcove, and then she was moved to the garage where she bled on the floor, where ultimately killed in the very spot. She bled on the floor in the garage, and the defendant cleaned up that blood. Our common sense tells us there's no way on earth that a violent assault resulting in a murder yielded this much blood. 10 drops fits in this vial, says Barquette. You can't rely on that kind of evidence to convict a man of murder. So in the end, the judge said, not guilty. In a make-believe trial, slap the sheriff on the head. Okay. I was shocked. I was truly shocked, Harris told reporters. That's all I kept fighting for my 4 kids. But while the verdict ends his legal ordeal, it does nothing to solve the mystery of Michelle Harris's disappearance. Sister-in-law said, I still miss her every day. She's not coming back, Greg Teller said, so it's not ever going to be over, for us, for the family. Okay, so, yeah, so he's a free man. All right, Native Libra, I'm going to look into that case. I'd like to do a in-depth on that case, but let's talk about Delphi, okay? Let's see what's going on. Okay, here we go. All right, let's see what happened here. Wednesday. The defense only took 6 days to call forward over 20 witnesses to present their case, nearly half as many as the prosecution. At 9:07 a.m., just after the jury entered the courtroom, defense attorney Brad Rossi immediately said, Your Honor, the defense rests. State prosecutor Nick McClellan requested a sidebar. Course, right? With Special Judge Fran Gull. Gull said several witnesses weren't available yet, so she dismissed the jury for a quick break. She then said she wanted to set jury instructions with the attorneys, including relating to the defendant not testifying and prior inconsistent statements. So his wife never took the stand, huh? It was noted that Richard Allen will not testify. The defense left to discuss the instructions in private and returned to the courtroom around 9:50 a.m. The courtroom awaited their return in total silence. McLellan chimed in, and the state had no objections to the instruction as proposed. But defense attorney Andrew Baldwin drew attention to instruction regarding if Richard Allen testified or not. The Pool reporter noted that instructions about jurors not drawing inferences out of the absence of testimony is different from passages he'd seen before, but he accepts the modified language. Rozzi asked for time until the afternoon to finalize instructions relating to jurors judging credibility of Allen's incriminating statements, whether they were voluntary or involuntary. Gull said she planned to give the jurors instructions before closing statements and will limit the argument lengths to 2 to 2.5 hours. 2 hours is a long time for folks to be sitting in these really uncomfortable chairs, she said. The judge also told the attorneys if they go over the time, she will kindly ask them to stop. Okay, the court was in recess at 10 a.m. The next step in the trial is closing arguments from the prosecution and defense, and then it will turn to the jury to make final decisions. Okay, let's go up here now. At 1:16, Judge Gull returns to the courtroom. The jury enters shortly after. Defense attorney Brad Rozzi begins cross-examination of Dr. John Martin, a licensed psychiatrist. Rozzi tells the jury that Dr. Martin does not have a traditional bachelor's degree from an American university. Rozzi said that Martin... Wait a minute. He's a psychiatrist, meaning he would be a medical doctor. Why are they talking about a bachelor's degree when they should be talking about a medical degree, right? Rozzi says Martin was terminated from a position in Florida. He says Martin was involved with lawsuits with a person that was in solitary confinement. Martin tells the jury he went to Westville because there was a 200 to 250 case backlog. Rozzi describes SMI, or severe mental illness. Diner objects. Martin says solitary can cause or exaggerate mental illness. Martin tells the jury that Allen could possibly move in and out of psychosis. He said that some of the meetings happened with Allen by speaking through his cell door. He said he did not watch camcorder or in-cell videos of Allen. Okay, this is Dr. John Martin, right? Martin said that on April 13th, 2023, Allen was very psychotic. He said he agreed that Allen suffered from major depressive disorder and that him believing that he was unfairly incarcerated could make the depression worse. Martin tells the jury that he agrees that he reported being concerned when Allen met with his lawyers. He said Allen told Dr. Walla that he thought one of his lawyers was a good cop and the other one was a bad cop. Martin said he has treated a pretrial detainee in prison that had no criminal history before. Rozzi shows Martin his previous deposition, and Martin agrees that he earlier said that he had not treated a pretrial detainee in a prison before. Martin agrees that Allen's situation was unique to him. He tells the jury about working on a computer off-site at times. Diner objects to this testimony. Martin describes an occasion when he administered medication to an inmate from Michigan City in Westville. He says he did not ask Allen if he had lawyers when he met with him in November of 2022. Martin said that the meeting was an interview and not a formal psychiatric visit. He said it was a report from the same month that Allen had used alcohol socially. Martin tells the jury that it would be more confusing for someone in solitary if they had not done something wrong. Rozzi asked to play the video from June 20th of 2023 in which Allen said he wanted to apologize to those families. Diner asked to review the video. The video is played. The reporter in the courtroom cannot see the screen and reports that Kathy Allen looks away. Gull calls for a sidebar in the middle of the video playing. Martin says his conversation with Allen on that day was an interview and that he was oriented. He says Allen's statement about apologizing to the families was spontaneous. Martin says he does not remember if the interaction was recorded. Martin tells the jury that he does not know why Allen's actions on June 20th seemed different than what he had recorded, but that he does not question his own records. He says he believes that Allen had returned to baseline by May 2nd, 2023. He says he continued Haldol after Allen was no longer in psychosis because he did not want it to reoccur. He says he never again had to have an emergency meeting for Allen after the first meeting in April of 2023. At 2:10 p.m., Rozzi begins again. Martin tells the jury that there was not anything to communicate, that Allen couldn't have communicated spontaneously on June 6, 2023. At 2:13 p.m., the jury asked questions. 1. Did the oral Haldol continue after June 20th, 2023? Martin says yes. What time did you meet with Allen on June 20th, 2023? Martin says early in the morning. Based on the video, could this presentation be consistent with faking? Martin says no. Is it possible for Allen to slip in and out of psychosis in a 24-hour period? Martin says yes. Charlie says, eat your good and plenty. I'm sorry, it's just who I am. At 2:15 p.m., the state says it has no other rebuttal witnesses. The Judge Gull told the jury, you have now heard all arguments in this case. The jury exits at 2:16 p.m. Defense attorney Andrew Baldwin revisits the jury instructions, wanting to add a statement of confessions, but the state objects. The defense withdraws the request. Baldwin again brings up an offer of proof involving a man named Elvis Fields, who is connected to the defense's Odinism defense. The state says that it does not matter because the defense has rested. Baldwin says he wants Fields addressed because he did not respond to a subpoena. Judge Gull says she already ruled he would not testify. Court went into recess at 2:27. Okay, so this is a little bit out of order. So we have to go back a little bit. At 10:25 a.m., court went back into sessions on both sides, approached the bench. 10:52, court went back. They said their witness was ready to testify. Diner called their witness, Brianne Wilbur, to the stand. Diner asked Wilbur if she had a Snapchat photo of the Freedom Bridge taken February 13, 2017, and Wilbur said, yes, she did. The photo was introduced as State Exhibit 318. Defense attorney Andrew Baldwin asked when Wilbur gave Diner the bridge photo. Wilbur said she didn't know exactly when she supplied the photo, but it was before the testimony earlier in the trial. The photo, taken in sequence with others, indicates that Wilbur arrived at the bridge at 12:25 p.m. Wilbur said she walked from the Freedom Bridge to the Monon High Bridge, but did not see the bridge guy or Abby or Libby on the walk. Baldwin said Wilbur had a good memory and asked her about remembering details of February 13th, 2017. Oh my goodness, why? I just realized something. Hold on a second. There goes my eyebrow. I don't have the right thing up here. We have this other family over here. There we go. Sorry about that. Okay. Wilbur said she walked from the Freedom Bridge to the Monon High Bridge, but did not see bridge guy or Abby or Libby on her walk. Baldwin said Wilbur had a good memory and asked her about remembering details of February 13th, 2017. Diner interjected and said Wilbur was interviewed shortly after the murders. A short time later, Wilbur was allowed to step down. Next to testify is Brian Harshman, the Westville correctional officer who listened to Allen's phone calls from jail. He confirmed that Richard Allen has been in a one-man cell in Westville, Wabash, and Cass County. Harshman said that Allen has a chair in his cell in Cass County and that the cell is bigger than the one in Westville. He told the court that there is less human interaction in Cass County than in Westville and that Allen has no neighbors. Harshman also said that Richard Allen threatened the staff at Cass County. Dr. John Martin, a licensed psychiatrist with 40 years of experience in corrections, was next to testify. Martin said he started working at Westville as a third-party contractor in February 2022, and he began seeing Allen that November. He was stable. He had a history of depression, but did not seem depressed. 3 weeks later, the doctor said Allen seemed fine again. When they met on November 24th, 2023, 16 days after their first session, Allen signed a consent form for Prozac. He told the court he would prescribe Allen medication, and he knew Allen was on Prozac before arriving at Westville. He said he also had a record of when Allen took his medication because staff members would initial a certain log if he was successful. Martin said he would type up notes on his computer after meeting with Allen and that the computer system was secure. No one else had access. At this point, the state introduced 2 exhibits, including records of medications ordered for Richard Allen and medication logs signed by staff. Martin and Allen were kept in what could be referred to Martin said Allen was kept in what could be referred to as a solitary confinement. Others will say a one-man cell. He added that solitary confinement had a punitive reason, while a one-man cell does not. Mr. Allen had not done anything wrong, and yet he was being treated as though he had. At least that's what he could have felt, Martin told the court. He said that the prison had a responsibility to keep him safe, and there were many meetings to make life more comfortable for Allen. Martin said he knew Allen had suicide companions and had expressed suicidal interests. He also said that Allen was sometimes moved to be seen by himself or Dr. Walla. He testified that he saw Allen again in April of 2023 after he got a phone call that prompted him to visit Allen unplanned. Martin said he saw Allen lying naked on a cell mattress with feces smeared on his body. Ew. Martin said he saw Allen lying naked on a cell mattress with feces smeared on his body. He told prison staff he needed to see Allen, and they practically dragged him to a shower cell and gave him a gown. Morton said it was at this point he decided Allen was psychotic and that in order to treat Allen's psychosis, he had to put him on an antipsychotic medication. Okay. Martin said he wanted to put Allen on Haldol, an antipsychotic drug commonly used to treat schizophrenia, but Allen's mental state was such that he could not consent to treatment. In order to give him Haldol injections without consent, Dr. Hayes, a regional psychologist with his contractor, asked for an emergency meeting with 3 psychologists. Martin said all 3 psychologists agreed that Richard Allen was psychotic, and he proceeded with the first treatment on April 14, 2023. He testified that he gave Allen 5 milligrams of short-acting Haldol and that the maximum dose is 100 milligrams. Martin said he administered such a small dose because he wanted to make sure that Allen wouldn't have a reaction. After that, Allen was injected with 15 milligram dose of long-acting Haldol once every 4 weeks, with the first dose being administered on April 18, 2023. Martin said he saw Allen 1 week later and that Allen was still psychotic, but there was some improvement. He described the improvement as that there was no evidence of smearing feces and that Alan would recognize him, but he did not know the date. Martin told the court that Alan knew he was in prison and asked for his wife and Taco Bell. There was also improvement in Alan's coherence, eating and sleeping. He said that he believed April 13th was the height of Alan's psychosis. Martin said he saw Alan several times in May. Each time, Alan was coherent and there was no evidence of psychosis. But by the end of the month, Alan was eating meals and had spoken to his wife. On June 20th, Alan had gone 7 weeks without showing signs of psychosis, and Martin decided to stop the Haldol injections. Martin said Alan told him every day, "I would like to apologize to the families of my victims." He told the court Alan was not psychotic at that time of the statement. The state finished its questions at 12:25 p.m. and the court adjourned for lunch. And that's when I think I read you that other thing about this. The cross-examination. So, okay, here's something. The following is a direct transcription of an exhibit shown to the media today after court adjourned. It's a psych evaluation of Richard Allen prepared by Dr. John Martin on June 20th, 2023. Hold on one second. Okay, sorry. All right, now we're going to go over this now. So this is a direct transcription of the exhibit that was shown to the media after court. And this is written by or prepared by Dr. John Martin on June 20th, 2023. And I quote, "This morning the patient was interviewed in an interview cell. He had been wearing a uniform when he was taken to the cell, but chose to take it off and was in a t-shirt and boxers. Several contusions on his face that had been self-induced are no longer as prominent. Eye contact was poor. He spoke very softly, but also very briefly. He kept asking for Dr. Walla. He was coherent and spoke without loose associations or flight of ideas. He was oriented to person, place, time of day, and situation. He has a constricted diet." Note, difficult to read this word. Okay. Affect. He said he had suicidal ideations. He said he did not want to talk too much. When he did talk about was his concern for his wife. He said that he wanted to apologize to the families of his victims. He is eating his meals. He is keeping himself clean. A review of the log shows that he's getting an adequate amount of sleep and is eating most of his meals. He has been meeting with Dr. Walla for therapy sessions and is due to see her in a few minutes. He was not consistent in taking his oral medications, and so it was discontinued. He will continue on Prozac. I'm discontinuing the Haldol decanate today. In general, he is much improved and does not appear to be psychotic at the present time. He claims to be suicidal. He is continued on suicide watch. He will be interviewed again in 2 weeks. End of transcription. Interesting, right? Let's see what you guys are saying. Okay, let's see. Hi, little lady. The grocery store, like everything is triple in price. Still can't get my decoupage case. Okay, Kevin, oh sorry. Who said what was Kevin looking for? What's Kevin looking for? Oh, Kevin, I told everybody where you were today. You weren't at the auction. I said that you were looking for a new car. You were shopping for a new car. Now stop misleading everybody, Kevin. They asked where you were. I said you were looking for a new car. since you got that promotion. Now stop. You could tell her. I told them. Hi, Alyssa. So I'm going to take a poll because I'm very nervous after what that profiler lady said. I believe tomorrow's going to be closing arguments, isn't it, Kevin? Closing arguments begin Thursday. Yeah. They're expected Thursday. Prosecution and defense will deliver their closing arguments on Thursday. Okie dokie. Artichokes. Yeah, they're gonna. Yep, they are. It's gonna happen. The Delphi murder trial is nearing the end. Nearing the end here. Closing arguments will begin on Thursday. Nearing the end. Okay, so let's see. Okay. I don't know. It's nerve-wracking, right? Delphi murder trial. Let's see here. After Richard Allen's defense team announced in court on Wednesday the rest of their case, the judge met with the prosecution and defense to discuss jury instructions and the order of arguments. Wednesday morning, after Allen's defense rested its case, the state called rebuttal witnesses to the stand. Dr. John Martin, who works at the Indiana prison system in 2020 and was asked to help out in Westville Correctional Facility in February of 2022. Okay, so I don't know, guys. What do you think is going to happen? I have to go to the eye doctor today. Do they still do that puff of air into your eye? Do you know Linda refuses that? Or Linda refuses that. She won't let them do that to her. Someone said they were going to stop doing that. I can't stand that. It's not that it like hurts or anything. It's just like I just don't like it. But what I don't like especially is that you go in and they have you take off your contacts, and then I'm like, I need a seeing eye dog. I can't see anything. It's horrible. And then all the questions: is this better? Is this better 1 or 2? Can you do it again? Yeah, 1 or 2. They look the same. Yeah, I always think I'm answering wrong, right? I don't know. If I had to pick one, but it's really not that clear. They didn't do it to you last time? Oh, I hate that. The puff. Linda refuses it. She refuses it. She's like, I'm not doing it. I'm getting out of here. I'm telling you. She's gone. She's gone. So I have to go tomorrow. there's a new test here for that. No puff of air anymore. Oh, I hope so. What's the new test? They just stick a needle in your eye now. Oh, God. I don't remember. I think I had that, but I didn't think I had that when they got the eye pressure once on me. I didn't think I was from a puff of air. So I only remember it in this one doctor's office, but maybe, no, I remember it in other places. Gosh, it's like I forget a lot of some stuff. You just look through this new machine now? Okay. I wonder if that's up to date. Because I asked Jimmy about it, and he was like, "Oh yeah, just get it done." And like, so he was recently there, so I don't know if they're gonna have the new thing, or just gonna be like, "Oh, just give her the puff of air." I don't know. You guys think he's gonna be convicted 83%. I don't know. You know, when you really can't see a trial yourself, it's very upsetting. It's like, ugh. But I'll tell you guys, I am tired. And I've got this eye stuff tomorrow. I've got to make up this auction somehow. Because I have to finish. You saw I have all these boxes and stuff now. I just got to move it and try to get try to find a time to do it tomorrow. So I finally found the necklace I was looking for and all of that. So I'll try to do it tomorrow. I love you guys. God bless. Prayers. I'll see you tomorrow. Needles in the eye. Oh wait, I got to do bird cookies. You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. Okay, I'll get you a new Zoom. Always thinking about yourself. Okay. I will, little lady. I just wish things would have went better, you know? That the internet didn't go down, that there wasn't all that hallelujah stuff. I hate conflict. I hate it. I hate it, and I hate to be thrust into it. I hate it. I will run. I hate it. It was my internet. Hi, Emmy. Al? Mm-hmm. Elf on the shelf, elf on the shelf. Oh. Alley. Alley cat. Flyleaf. Flyleaf, what is that? Fly, Robin, fly. Ah, lie. Right. Yell. Yeah, only one more. Let's see. A, E, A or an E. All. There we go, we're done. All right, guys, I think I'm going to go to bed. I am exhausted. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. It was a good turnout, even though we had 2 different lives. I'm amazed at that. So, see you tomorrow. Don't cheat. Video real, don't. All right, love you. Talk to you tomorrow. Everybody be good. Bye now.